Everything old is new again. America's entertainment pop culture talk show.
It may well possess a rudimentary intelligence.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Felt a great disturbance in the force.
Hello, I'm Mr. Red.
Come on, bark like a dog for me.
Where's the goodies? Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
I bet you wouldn't have done anything like this if Mom and Dad were here.
You filthy criminal.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Here are your hosts, Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
What you people discovered is bigger than we ever thought possible.
How big is that thing?
It was the largest shark that ever existed.
Thought to have been extinct for over 2 million years. Wrong.
Welcome to Everything Old is New Again. This is Douglas Viviani with the movie aficionado himself, David Cohen.
Yes, glad to join you, Douglas.
All right. Because we're here, right smack dab in the middle of summer season, which is the summer blockbuster season. And I'll tell you what, since the late 1970s, Hollywood has saved most of their biggest budget and highest profile movies for now, right? The summer blockbusters.
Yeah, of course.
And this is so we're right in the middle of it. We're all excited because Everything Old is New Again is going to take a look at the movies either out or coming out this summer with an eye towards recommending the best of the lot. Be forewarned, not every movie we suggest are big budget blockbusters.
That's right, because I'll tell you why. Because along with the big budget blockbusters, we look for good movies that, you know, satisfy the craving for entertainment, but have good, original, engaging storylines that don't necessarily have the CGI. They could, but it's the story that kind of drives my pleasure when it comes to watching movies. Am I right?
Yes, going back to the old standbys of a movie that actually has an original story. Think about it. I know that we've said this before, but if The Godfather came out today without special effects and all that, I'm not saying it wouldn't be successful, but would it garner the attention that it garnered originally? Like it, you know what I'm saying? Like it's one of the best movies ever made, but the special effects are almost non-existent. It's a drama.
No, but I tell you what, they would not release it during the summer. That's for sure.
Yes,
it would get gobbled up by monsters and explosions and things like that.
I think the studios also look for like roller coaster rides for us in the proverbial summer blockbuster.
Sure.
And at this point in time, we're going to kind of take that out of the equation, those big blockbusters, and look for the other movies, if that makes sense.
So we're not even talking about we've been talking about blockbusters for the last 5 minutes, but guess what? We're not going to be talking about blockbusters.
Exactly. And one of them we just saw was The Meg, M-E-G.
Yes.
And it's about a huge 75-foot shark that, of course, everyone thought was extinct for millions of years, and it's not.
And it's a big blockbuster, but again, we're going to sometimes talk about big blockbusters. Not all the time, but sometimes. So this is sort of the hybrid, right?
Yeah, because this budget, believe it or not, $150 million is not...
It's a drop in the bucket. Is it in black and white?
And there's no stars. I mean, it's starring...
Is it a talkie? What do you get for $150 million?
It's the one you made in your backyard with your, with your old camera with the video, the CD in it that records
and then
on
the film like burns through at the very end. You get that big burn that starts appearing.
Exactly. So I think that's a really good start, though.
Yes.
It seems to be kind of original. Looks like it's Jurassic Park-ish, though. But I think Jurassic Park meets Jaws, let's say.
Yeah. I mean, it borrows from different... other movies, but, kind of what movie doesn't anymore?
Do you have another in mind that you would like
we're
to
moving
suggest?
off that already?
We're moving
we're
off.
Done with the Meg.
Yeah,
okay.
There's not much to say about it. I think it's going to be great. I'm going to love it. It's a roller coaster ride, but it's sort of hybrid. Let's get into something else that doesn't have all the CGI.
Okay. So we got the blockbuster out of the way. So here's another one. It's called The Spy Who Dumped Me.
All right, well, let's hear the trailer and see, Angelica.
We just want to talk about your boyfriend.
But he dumped me.
Drew was CIA.
I'm sorry, what?
Some bad people are after me. Now they're after you.
Why is this happening?
I don't know, because you dated a spy.
I-5 up here.
All right, that came out July 6th, and
here's the thing about this movie. I'm going to see it because of the two actresses that are in it. And if this movie was good enough for these two actresses to be in it, I know I'm going to like it. And those two actresses are Mila Kunis and, more importantly, I think, Kate McKinnon. Because I don't think these two would do a movie that would agree to do a movie that would be anything less than high quality and very funny.
Really?
I'm serious. You're laughing at me. I was not
She
being
does
sarcastic.
bourbon commercials. What are you talking about?
Mila Kunis happens to be a really good actress.
She was
Sorry.
from the 70s show. Now, who's the other one? What's her name?
From the 70s.
No, the 70s show. That 70s show.
Yes.
What?
She's been in other things.
Yeah, with Justin Timberlake, the friends that aren't friends anymore. What's the name of that one? And Friends with Benefits. And,
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Or that really good movie where she works at the hotel on the beach. Anyway.
But what's the other? Who's the other actress again?
Kate McKinnon from Saturday Night
Unfortunately.
Live.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
You know Kate
She's
McKinnon.
good. Yes.
Yes.
I think it's going to be fun. I think it...
I don't know if it,
We're on the
qualified
radio.
for
You
the-
got to kind of translate this stuff.
But the laughter, the mocking was a bit out of place. I thought.
I don't know. I don't agree with it. I think it's going to be a big flop. But let's see what happens. I could be wrong. How about that's your choice.
I was being so serious.
You should be. It's a comedy.
Shot down.
It's a comedy. The movie's a comedy. How about You're going to laugh at mine now. Christopher Robin.
What to do, what to do, what to do. What to do indeed. Pooh? Christopher Robin. Cracked. Oh, I don't see any cracks. A few wrinkles, maybe.
Now, what if Christopher Robin, who's from Winnie the Pooh, of course, right? The little boy that owns all of the characters in Winnie the Pooh, because they're really just dolls, right? That come to life in his imagination. What if he grew up, of course he's going to grow up at some point, but grew up to be like a guy that just, as all of us sometimes, fell into, let me pay the mortgage, let me get married, let me have the bills paid and what have you, lost his sense of imagination, his sense of creativity.
Also known as the Doug Viviani story.
Exactly. And so what would he do?
What happened to all those animals you used to own and think about?
Rather than start a radio show to explore his and have an outlet for his, I would just say imagination, I guess. The question is, what if Pooh and his friends from the 100-Acre Wood re-enter Christopher's life?
So he goes
to
crazy.
help him find
so
it
he
again?
checks himself into mental rehab
That could be.
facility. Is that what it's about?
That could be the ending. Like you go through this whole adventure and he ends up in an institution.
So
at
they
the end.
come back. They come back to help him through his midlife crisis.
Exactly. Well, that's a good way to say it, yes. And that's out August 3rd. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I don't know. You tell me. And,
I just have one question for you about that movie. Is Mila Kunis in it? If not, I will not see
she's
it.
not in it, not going to see it. She's not going to promote it. She's never going to talk about
She
it.
may see it. She may see it. We don't know.
We may see her wear a Winnie the Pooh shirt in the next beer or bourbon commercial. As a little, so we'll be back. Now, let's just look at this one. Next one, Isle of Dogs. David Cohen. I know you like this. Let's hear this.
The Isle of Dogs.
I don't think I can stomach any more of this garbage.
Nobody's giving up around here, and don't you forget it, ever. You're Rex. You're King. You're Duke. You're Boss. I'm Chief. We're a pack of scary, indestructible alpha dogs.
Well, listen, Wes Anderson, whenever he comes out with something, I'm there. Because 9 times out of 10, it's a movie I love. I would say Isle of Dogs, it's really good. It's really good. You know, did I walk out of there saying, oh my God, another Wes Anderson, just incredible movie? No, I did not say that.
Now, remember, that one came out a while ago.
Yes.
So we're just trying to, like that, you could look at Family Movie Night or something, throw that on the TV.
No, right. It's not in the theaters anymore, but it's another, I guess. So
it's an animation type, right?
Just to recap about the Blockbuster show. So no, we're not talking about blockbusters. We're not even talking about movies that are currently out now. We're just all over the place.
But it's something to enjoy this summer.
You can enjoy this summer. You don't have to go to the theater. I think that's the point. You can rent it, and I think that's a good rental.
It is a good. Now, why? Give me 10, 15 seconds.
Well, because to your point, and you like the whole family thing. It's
right.
Very family oriented. The animation is amazing. It's a great story. It's original. That's what I like about it.
Will it make you laugh, cry, both? What's it all about?
I laughed, I cried, I wet myself a little bit because it has all my favorite all the Wes Anderson cast is in there doing the voices, and they do a great job. Jason Schwartzman and Bill Murray and Ed Norton, and that really adds to the enjoyment of the movie.
All right, we'll be back right after this and take a look at some more of these movies that are not blockbusters, and we'll go out with the theme of a blockbuster. Mission Impossible.
You're listening to Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dee Dee Sorvino, co-author of Pinot Pasta and Parties, along with your favorite good fella,
Paul Sorvino, and we are here to tell you that you should be listening every day, all day long. Wake up to it and sleep with it. Everything Old is New Again with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
How about that? A couple of guests of ours that we enjoyed last year, Paul Sorvino. And if you want to go back and hear the interview we had with him, 2 days of hilarity with Paul Sorvino and his wife and talking about cooking and so forth, that's on everythingoldisnewagain.biz. everythingoldisnewagain.biz, and or go to our YouTube site, Everything Old is New Again Radio, Everything Old is New Again Radio, and you will be able to hear our old shows. Now, talking about new shows or previously broadcast shows, we are going to take a look and continue to take a look at the summer movie season sans blockbusters, let's say.
And sans is French for without.
Yeah, very nice. How about that? First of the bunch is one David wanted to see, Hotel Artemis. Well, let's take a look at the promo first, and then we'll talk about this.
The Artemis is a secret hospital for criminals.
I thought you were done with all this.
I got out, but you know how it goes.
You're never out. Not up here.
I thought this place was a myth.
We've been here for 22 years. This hospital was built on two things: trust and rules.
Open the gate!
That's against the rules.
Rules? Without the rule breakers, honey, where would you be?
Jeff Goldblum in that.
Jeff Goldblum.
Hello. Fresh off of a Jurassic World.
That's right.
The big, huge blockbuster to the
Jeff
Sublime.
Goldblum, he's like ubiquitous. He's everywhere you want to be or you don't want to be.
Thor Ragnarok. Did you see that one?
Yeah. I mean, wow. So, I mean, that's why I wanted to see this movie, because I like the premise sounded original. It was a secret hospital that just treats criminals, and the drama that unfolds there. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty. Jodie Foster is very involved in the movie, and as you mentioned, Jeff Goldblum, but also Charlie Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, one of my favorite shows. I just thought it was a good idea, had some good actors. Why not go check it out? But I have to say, it was just okay. You know, it kind of fell a little short of my expectations.
Am I wrong to say that I just think that and it doesn't have to do with politics, but the shoot-em-ups, the guns, and the gangsters, I just think we're out at this point in our movie scene. We're not in the world of that anymore.
Yeah, you can't just be about that anymore. There has to be some sort of story, some character-driven plot. They just,
like back in the day, James Cagney and Bogart and all that was a novelty. It was a new thing. Even in the 70s with the Mafia, with Godfather, it was a new thing. Now it's not. It's not newish anymore. It's like we've seen how many times somebody gets shot and they got to get fit. Although seemed to be a different idea on it, a different take on it.
Right.
But as Jeff Goldblum says, it's going to in that clip, it's going to devolve into that kind of a thing anyway. We're chasing after somebody with a gun, or they're around the corner, shoot them. I don't know. To me, I've seen that. From Mannix to now, I've seen it too many times.
Mannix, M-A-N-N-I-X, right?
Yes, the
okay.
TV show with the Chuck Connors, who have his autograph from the 1960s. I sent away for it, 1970s.
Really?
Yeah, imagine that.
You mailed away for it, and you got it.
Back in the day, I don't know if you could still do that now. I mailed away, and I sent nice letters to Cleon Jones, to
former New York Met,
to Mannix, which was I forgot his name again. I just said it.
Not Robert Blake, the other guy.
But I sent it to him. Connors, I forget his name. Chuck Connors?
Okay. Mike Connors.
Mike Connors.
There you go.
And he sent back a nice note with a signature on the autograph. It was great.
What did it say?
It said best wishes.
Please stop writing to me.
Hey, kid, grow up and go outside, play some baseball. Will you stop watching TV? Something like that. But I thought that was a kick. Right. I don't know if you can still do that anymore. Probably
not. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to play my sleeper of the year or of the summer, and I hope I'm right about this. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Something that's called Hearts Beat Loud.
This is so good. You wrote this.
Yeah.
with my dad.
Maybe you could take a year off and we'll see what happens.
Are you suggesting that I don't go to college so that I can stay and be in a band with you? Let's just do our thing.
What thing? We've never done this before.
Just do what we always do. Just in front of some people. Hey, that's what bands do, right?
Okay.
So you saw the trailer before you saw the movie. You saw the trailer and then you said, "Yeah, I got to see this."
Correct. And that really does not represent it. I don't know how good that trailer is to present to you that it's a father-daughter. Father gave up on his dream of performing music and writing music to have a family, and I don't know what happened to the wife in this situation, but it seems like she's gone. So he's raising this daughter on his own, and they always play music together. And she's got the bug a little bit now. He's over the top, pushing her for this. She doesn't want to do it too much, and he embarrasses her in that he's now part of her band, if you will, and it becomes successful, and we'll see what happens. I think that it's a nice change of pace, because it's a father-daughter, which you don't see very much.
Not much at all. Right.
And I think it's nice to see something that has music in it, with people creating music, which is... Now it's American Idol, and let's just sing a song, and the one that wrote the song gets no credit in my world, and I think that's odd. And to play their own instruments, I just think it's a throwback for me to all those themes that should resonate with people if the music that they perform here, not that it's the only thing, but you got to have a decent song after all this build-up that plays and makes them successful, you know?
Yeah,
sometimes these movies do it and the music is horrible, so it doesn't work. So I'm going to roll the dice on that one. I haven't seen it yet, and I'm going to say that it might be worth a try.
Okay.
Now, you have a few. One called Lady Bird, which I think is
well, again, so these came out a while ago, but they're available to rent, and Lady Bird, I think in the Academy Awards, did not win nearly as much as I think it should have, and I think a lot of people voiced that same opinion.
So you sort of missed it. It came out in September, so of course it's out on DVD, if you will, or on demand.
But it's one of my favorite films of last year.
Well, let's hear the clip, and then you could try to tell me why.
We're afraid that we will never escape our past.
Whatever we give you, it's never enough. It's never enough.
It is enough.
We're afraid of what the future will bring. We're afraid we won't be loved.
You can't do anything unless you're the center of attention.
And we won't succeed.
I want you to be the very best version of yourself that you can be.
Okay, so it's not Lady Bird Johnson, is it?
No, it's not Lady Bird Johnson.
What is this?
It's hard to say what it's about, but a lot of it is about it's a mother and daughter relationship. It's a coming of age movie, but it's original. It's so well written and it's so well acted and well directed. Greta Gerwig, actress turned director, she's behind this whole project. But Saoirse Ronan, Laurie Metcalf, who one of my favorite actresses. It's just one of those films. It's kind of hard to describe because there's so many
well, let me ask you this:
nuances.
Does it leave you with a message? Is it a comedy? Is it just straight drama? What is it?
It leaves you with a message that just life is just messy.
Right.
And I like those kind of movies. Like it doesn't need, all the problems do not need to be resolved because in real life they usually aren't resolved.
Right.
And I think this does a good job with that, and I highly recommend it.
Does it resolve or answer any of the problems?
Yes, it does.
All right. So that's sufficient for me to go see, because there are some that just lay it out there and then you go home.
No. Yeah, I mean, you feel for the characters, and there is some resolution to certain issues, but there's not to others. And
is there a room for sequel?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Maybe. Sure.
All right, let's try another you're looking at. I know what's the next one you like. It's something called
Three Billboards.
Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. The worst title for a movie I've ever heard, but an Academy Award winner. So hold on.
Oh,
I'd do anything to catch your daughter's killer. I don't think those billboards is very fair.
Time it took you to get out of Willoughby. Some other poor girl's probably out there being butchered right now.
We've had 2 official complaints about those billboards.
I'm sorry about Angie, but the town is dead set against these billboards.
All right, so mom puts up billboards to help find the killer of her daughter.
Correct. And as they used to say in the sitcom world, hijinks ensue. No, this is do not go to see this movie if you're looking for a feel-good movie. All right, but one of the best movies I've seen in recent memory. Let me just go there first. Great acting, great directing, great story. Sam Rockwell won a lot of awards for this. Frances McDormand, who's always amazing. Woody Harrelson, maybe I think one of the most underrated actors ever, has a great, more than a cameo, but he's got a pretty good role, substantial role in the movie. The story, there's more to it than her effort to bring to attention the fact that the local police department didn't follow through with the investigation. It has to do with race. It has to do with her going basically like gonzo over this thing and doing things that I think she ends up regretting doing, pushing it too far. There's never a moment where you're not watching this and thinking, yeah, I know what's going to happen next, because you don't. And that's what's great.
She's in a lot
movie.
of those like that, too.
Yeah.
Right. So that's great. Okay, well, that's a good one. I'm going to throw back here on the way out to Jaws. You may want to take a look at that if you haven't seen it already. Silly to say, for the old summer blockbuster from the 70s. But we'll be back right at this on Everything Old is New Again.
Now, back to America's entertainment pop culture talk show. Everything Old is New Again, with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
You're listening to Everything Old is New Again. This is Hal Linden inviting you to enjoy Everything Old is New Again with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
How about that?
He was so great. Wasn't that a fun interview with Hal Linden?
That really was.
Barney Miller.
He really was unexpected, because I loved the show but hadn't heard from him in a long time, and he really had a lot to say. And go back and listen to that interview on everythingoldsnewagain.biz.
And I love that. I mean, he's got to be in his 80s, right? And his ringtone is still the theme from the Barney Miller show. I love that. I love that he was okay with it. He appreciates what it did for his career and what it did for the fans of the show growing up, like you and I.
He totally embraced it. He didn't hide behind it. And some people I've done Star Trek or whatever, and I don't want to hear from it again. And And he really was. But he's done so much more in that new movie.
He has. Yeah.
He had that new movie came out. It was sort of an independent release, but you should check that one out as well. Anyway, we're looking at movies to review and see what the summer is bringing us other than sans blockbusters. Now, my next one, I don't know if you call it a blockbuster. I guess it cost a good penny to make this movie, but, I don't know. I still don't think that animateds are blockbusters. So here's Incredibles 2. Let's see how about this.
Yay! The bus is here!
So things haven't spiraled out of control the moment I left?
Oh, my God.
And Jack?
Looks normal to me.
What the? Num cookie.
You're not...
Cookie.
Oh, my God.
Cookie.
Wow. Okay. That is freaky.
Wow, that sounds like a mess there. That
it does,
really...
but how do you not? If you love The Incredibles, if you really like The Incredibles, like I think you did and I did a long time ago, how could you not go to see this one, right?
10 years later, they have a son that has some of their powers. Mom is out crime fighting. Dad's home with the kids trying to raise this little guy. And
it's a great premise,
hilarity
right?
ensues. It got decent reviews. They say it's not as good as the original, but still good because there's too many subplots going on. I think it's for adults. The subplots can't be followed. I think we're just fine. I think it's we don't have to worry about that. I think it's a good movie. It's a nice movie for a family too, because again, the adults are going to catch it because there's enough there for you to enjoy, and the kids are going to love the animation and the superhero aspect of it and relate to one of the children. There's lots of kids in that movie.
Sure.
Or three anyway. So that's my pick for one to check out. Incredibles 2. I think you'll enjoy it. I don't know if it matters who's in it. Craig T. Nelson, John Ratzenberger, Holly Hunter, Samuel Jackson. These are people you certainly know, but their voices and, that's a good question. Do you see an animated film?
Yes, I know what the question is going to be, and yes.
You do. So if Samuel L. Jackson was not in that movie, you would not watch it?
I would think that someone like Samuel L. Jackson would make the movie better to watch, yes.
Interesting.
His voice and his there's acting that goes behind voiceovers. It's
I know, but I look at Incredibles 2, and it's sort of like whoever's in it, whatever. I want to see the movie. I enjoy what they did. And I guess, of course, that's part of their work, is a finished product, but you don't say, hey, Craig T. Nelson from Coach is in that? I got to go see that movie.
But that's what sells, right? Or else they wouldn't be using Craig. Why pay him all that money?
Well, he does a great job.
And it's obviously working to get people in the seats. Otherwise, they would not be spending the money on people.
Question.
Right?
I do think it's an interesting question. All right, we'll be back. We'll be back. We're looking at the next one is...
Where are we going?
Hello. Ocean's 8. David Coe.
Debbie Ocean, convicted felon. Her brother, Danny Ocean, more convicted felon. She was present on the night of the incident.
So... You're no good, you're no good, you're
and that will be hosting its annual ball. And we are going to rob it.
What do you think of this? What do you say?
All right, so beside the fact that Mila Kunis is not in this movie, right, which you mocked me for earlier in the show.
She's not Meryl Streep.
There is... I never said she was Meryl Streep. But listen to the cast.
She
right?
would never be in a movie that wasn't above board and in the...
Well, it's true.
Friends with Benefits wasn't exactly Shakespeare. Okay.
But that wasn't the other... All right, we're going to have a whole other show on Mila Kunis. Let's get Mila Kunis on the show and she can defend herself.
I would love to. I will reach out to her.
Tell her that...
Take this clip and send it to her people.
Yo, that'll get her on. All right, so listen, there's Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett, Anne Hathaway, Mindy Kaling, Sarah Paulson, Rihanna, Helena Bonham. It's like a who's who of great female personalities, actors. Why wouldn't you go see this movie?
Because they're completely wasted on an old topic, an old subject, and script that is horrible.
Well, it's a fun summer blockbuster. That's what most people have said. And I remember I made this call earlier in the season. I said this would do very well, and I believe it is.
Well, I have to say to you that I respect that it's a movie with all these women in it. I would say this. Why can't you put these women in an original plot? This has been done with Sinatra's Rat Pack. This has been done with George Clooney and his boobs. And now you got another bunch of characters stealing money from somewhere. We're so smart. We're smarter than everybody else. It doesn't
but it's
do
different.
It for me.
It's not. It's different because this is the sister of the original guy. It's not the original guy.
So it's genetic. The idea that you want to be a bank robber and perform a sting is a genetic component. That's why you need to have the sister of Frank Sinatra, basically.
Right. And it just goes to show you that anyone can remake old movies and do it badly. All right? Doesn't matter what color, sex, it just doesn't matter.
Exactly.
For over a century, the hotel has been his life. But next summer, if anyone needs a vacation, it's Drac.
A cruise?
Ooh.
Surprise!
How about that?
Well, you're going to have to talk. I never saw any of the Transylvania movies.
Hotel Transylvania.
You've got to talk to me through this.
Summer vacation. I think this is a lot of fun. It's cool. The Hotel Transylvania, if you remember, lots of shows we've done about Halloween and all, we keep on playing and we talk about this old show which was done by Rankin Bass, which was Mad Monster Party. It's the same as that. It takes all of the... I'm glad I went through that reference because no one knows what it means. I'm trying to use that as a reference point. And the point is, Hotel Transylvania takes all of the characters from the old Universal monsters. Everyone, Frankenstein, Dracula, the Blob, all of them, and puts them into the same environment.
Hotel?
And they go to a hotel. But here they're going on a cruise.
Ah.
And Dracula falls in love with the I guess it's the captain of the cruise ship. And the captain is evil, so they all need to try to scheme and connive to separate them and move on. But I think the idea of bringing this crowd somewhere besides and out of the hotel is going to be fun. Here's now, I don't know if I buy into this, but here I'm going to read you the list of the people in the movie. Adam Sandler, Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez, okay.
Adam Sandberg, Kevin James.
Yes.
David Spade,
Good.
Steve Buscemi,
Oh, big time, yeah.
Molly Shannon,
Oh, yeah.
Fran Drescher,
Sure.
Jim Gaffigan,
Oh, yeah.
Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
So
how could this go wrong?
Well, again, those are
I'm
just
being
voices,
facetious, but it's like there's a lot of talent there.
There is a lot of talent. I guess it really comes down to the writing, if you ask me. Written and directed by the same person, Gennady Tarkovsky. And I think, I don't know, none of these names mean anything. So, but is the movie any good is the question. And it's coming out next week, July 13th. I think it's worth a try.
Mila Kunis turned this one down.
Yes.
So I don't think I'm going to see it, but...
She's working on that 80s show right now. So we'll be back to talk about that. But you've got a DVD bonus, which I think is a good selection and something that we all should take a look at when we're one of these summer days when it's raining out and it's thunder and lightning at night and you don't feel like going out into the the environs. and sitting in the rain, and you're looking and searching for it. It's called, you ready for this? A Quiet Place.
Who are we if we can't protect them? We have to protect them.
David Cohen.
Yeah, so I wanted to see this in the theater, but I couldn't get anyone to go with me because it's a scary movie, and some family members of mine just refused to go to scary movies. So I waited until it came out, and I must say, as a fan of horror movies, this one's really good, and it's weird because it's coming from John Krasinski, Jim from The Office fame, and his real life spouse Emily Blunt. It's a Michael Bay. I kind of like what he does. So it's I highly recommend it. I would not necessarily watch it alone.
But they're living in a world where if they make any noise, the evil entities will come and find them.
Yes.
So they all have to be quiet. Are they living their whole life this way? Is there a way out of this?
I don't want to give too much away.
But do they address that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think it's worth a shot.
But and again, don't see it alone. Try not to make a lot of noise. Those are my two suggestions for this movie.
This is going to make a lot of noise. We'll be back right after this. And Everything Old is New Again. Here's an old one. Back to the Future.
This is Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Hi, this is Walter Koenig, and you're listening to Everything Old is New Again with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
How about that? Chekhov himself.
Mr. Chekhov, that was so cool.
From the original Star Trek show.
Oh, that was a
50
big
years
catch.
ago.
That for you. I mean, come on.
That was. And we got him to laugh, and he admired some of my questions. And then towards the end, he got tired and
dozed off.
He was ready to leave. He was off.
As do most of our fans. But I did not know Russian accent was not part of his normal thing.
You said that. That's a strange thing. You really did. You really thought he... What about Scotty? Did you think he had that accent?
She's breaking up, Captain. Of course, he doesn't. He didn't. Listen, don't break the aura, right? This is how I remember these guys. I don't want to know them, You
want to hear behind-the-scenes stories from Chekhov himself,
but in the original accents.
Yes, tune into Everything Old is New Again. What you will do is we'll have you translated from his American accent into the Russian.
And
accent.
I'll do the character's response, right? Exactly.
All right, so now I have one that I hesitate with this. I think that this is a cool take on puppetry. However, this is not, and I'll say it again, not for kids.
Woohoo!
Okay, listen to this one.
You two are the most decorated officers in this department. What do you say?
Looks like a robbery gone wrong to me.
This wasn't a robbery. This was a hit.
What the?
Someone out there is killing puppets.
All right, so the puppets are alive.
That's a great quote. Someone out there is killing puppets.
Someone out there made a movie, believe it or not, and this is Brian Henson, who is the son of the creator of the Muppets.
Jim Henson?
Yes.
His son.
And what they did, and he produced it as well and directed it, Melissa McCarthy is in it, who I don't think that's actually a good thing because she hasn't done one movie lately. She's going right down the tubes.
Sad.
But I think she's more, she's an actress that I think is better as a supporting actress, clearly. She's not carrying these movies too well. Am I wrong? I don't know.
I don't think she's being given great material to work with.
But she's working with a husband, and they're picking material that they want. You know what I mean? Like they're in the driver's seat now. It's a shame. It goes to show you, and we've seen it in Star Trek when that last Next Generation movie came out, when the writers of the movie were consulting with the actors what should happen. Mistake, with all due respect. Actors are actors, writers are writers.
I can't disagree with you on that. Yeah.
But long story short on this is that the Happy Time Murders has a story where the Muppets are alive with... They're calling them puppets. I don't want to say Muppets, but alive with human beings, and there's a problem going on. Someone's murdering. It's almost like what was that one with the animation and the humans together with Bob Hoskins, Roger Rabbit.
Oh yeah,
it's almost like a Roger Rabbit with Muppets,
with Muppets and people. Okay,
and we'll call them puppets though. So it's worth a shot. But it's adult humor. So stay carefully away from that if you have a child.
Do you know if it's R-rated?
It is. I think it's close to R. It's at least PG. I think it should be
Okay.
R. Should be R. All right, David Cohen, I know you're a big fan of Superfly.
Money comes easy. It's keeping it that's hard. Power never stop the bullet. No car can outrun fate. But if you can play the game by your own rules and win, that's Superfly.
There you go, Superfly. Yes,
Yeah.
no, or maybe. From the 70s, I remember this, but...
Yeah, I mean, I was not old enough to watch when the original Superfly came out, but I definitely saw it. Listen, see this movie for one reason, and his name is Michael Kenneth Williams. You know this guy. He's been in a lot of HBO series. He's an incredible actor. When I saw his name, I said, I'm going to see this movie. So call me crazy, but...
The reviews are good plus. They're not excellent. But I don't know if this kind of a movie is going to draft good reviews. You know what I'm saying? It's again, It's one of these shoot 'em ups and the cops and robbers and looking around. And Shaft is more or less a superhero, is he not? Of like a Punisher type.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I don't know how true they were to the original, but again, hey, it's summertime, and
it's not a blockbuster.
Not a blockbuster.
And never will.
Never will be.
But it's worth a shot. You're saying.
I think so.
All right, so that's not so bad. How about you have again? You're harping on, and I think you're good with this. The DVD bonus movies. The first of which is a movie called Get Out. I don't know if.
Oh, that was a huge movie from last year.
Yeah,
it's now coming out on DVD.
So look, I go do my research. Apparently, a whole bunch of brothers been missing in this suburb. But it's cool. Bro, how you not scared of this, man?
Good to see another brother around here.
Chris was just telling me how he felt much more comfortable with my being here. Get out.
Sorry, man.
Get out! Yo!
What is this about?
Well, see, that's the thing. Sometimes with these movies, it's like you talk about what it's about, and it's sort of giving it away. So this is a horror movie, no question about it. It was directed, at least, and written by Jordan Peele of that famous comedy team, Key and Peele. First time out doing a movie, and I think he was nominated. I'm pretty sure he was nominated for a few Oscars for this film.
Not a comedy.
No, not a comedy. I mean, there's some funny things you chuckle over, but no, don't get me wrong. This is a horror movie. It's a scary movie. There's a big twist at the end. That's why I don't want to tell you too much about it if you haven't seen it yet. But I would say if you're a fan of this genre, you like to be surprised, you like to be scared, this is a great movie to see. It's just well filmed, it's well directed, well acted.
Do they get out? Is the door locked? Is that the surprise? They can't get out? We'll have to leave that to your imagination.
Well,
I don't even want you to answer it, really.
It is about getting out, and that's part of towards the end of the movie. That's what you're hoping happens. And I won't give that away either. But.
All right. That's cool. Here's another one that I think is a great family movie, but it's not just that. It's more.
Dear God, please make them be nice to him.
I know I'm not an ordinary kid. I've had 27 surgeries. They've helped me to breathe, to see, to hear without a hearing aid, but none of them have made me look ordinary.
You are not ugly, Augie.
You just have to say that because you're my mom.
Because I'm your mom, it counts the most, because I know you the most.
You're the toughest kid in that school. Show them. You can't blend in when you were born to stand out.
All right, that's Wonder with... well, why don't your review? You've picked this one out.
Well, I did, but you told me before we started you saw it and you thought it was really good.
Yes,
as well,
I highly recommend it.
We're in agreement with this. This kind of film just sort of came out of nowhere. It kind of flew out under the radar in 2017. It stars Julia Roberts, Owen Wilson, and it's mostly about a boy, Augie. I think it's based on a real-life story. It is based on a real-life story. I think they've taken some liberties with the story, but for the most part, it's kind of straight on. So he has challenges as a kid growing up. He's had numerous surgeries because he had a rare facial deformity. And it's about how he copes with life and how his parents help him, his sister helps him. It's a great, I don't know, you saw it too. It's just
I would say this. When you're raising children, you don't have all the answers, and sometimes you would like and certainly you don't want to get this advice from a movie all the time, but you would like to turn to someone or something to help you in a situation. Hey, my child's being bullied, something, whatever the question is, how do I deal with this? What are the rules? What will work? What do I plug into this puzzle? What do I say? What do I do to fix this problem? And this movie offers you some of those solutions, if that makes sense.
It does.
It's
Not
not
all
a
of them,
documentary.
right?
It's not
Right.
one after the but through its presentation of how the stars handle these issues, it helps you maybe as a parent, and also if you ever, and I think we all at some point in life go through a time where you're in an environment that you're uncomfortable in, and you might be looked at and you in an odd way, or you might be out of place and other people know it. It gives you maybe an idea of how to have some strength through that kind of adversity, which I think we all go through, whether it's a job interview or an abnormality or whatever it might be in life. We're all given something that's going to put us in this child's position, if that makes sense.
It does. And there's something about a movie that's based on a real story, I think, that just adds some, I don't know, to me, adds some legitimacy to it. So whatever they're representing that the parents went through and that the child went through, I believe it.
Right. So that's a great one for a family movie night, if you will. I have another one to go out to the theater. This is the last one I'm going to recommend. This is, to me, is the movie of the summer.
A movie of the summer.
Movie of the summer. I
All
can't
right.
say it's really not a blockbuster, but Ant-Man and Wasp.
Maybe you just need someone watching your back. Like a partner.
Hold on. You gave her wings and blasters. So I take it you didn't have that tech available for me?
No, I did.
There we go. Paul Rudd has added a new dimension to the superhero. Not straight comedy, but he has a comedic turn, and is perfect for the Wasp and, of course, the Ant-Man, which he plays, because it's a superhero, but is that really such a great superpower? It's sort of funny unto itself, isn't it?
There's problems inherent with the superhero. Yeah.
Right. What powers does he have that's so great to be a superhero, to be able to get that small? But it is fun. I have my 9-year-old here, Angelica. Are you looking forward to seeing this movie, and why?
Yes.
Why?
I want to see it because they're adding the Wasp, which is kind of cool. Like, they're adding someone new. And that because when I saw, the first Ant-Man, it was really good, and I was waiting for something more to happen, so...
And that's that. So we are going to be back next week on Everything Old is New Again to talk about more pop culture entertainment. And I'm going out with one of my favorite movies of all time. Check this one out if you haven't already. Of course, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Thanks for listening.